Bienvenidos, espectacular. Oh, damn it. I had the whole thing written. And I just hit the wrong thing on Google. God damn it. Fuck, I had the whole thing. Damn it, I cursed it. It just got off the rails. I had a whole thing planned all morning. I'm going to drill it. I got this. I got the Spanish, baby.
Let's try it again.
Wait.
Play the intro and just try it again.
You know what? Bienvenido al truco de brunch. Soy Laurence Cartier. Soy Blair Pacheco. Blair, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I had a bigger spiel than that. That's how I could do real quick.
That's okay. That worked.
I killed that.
Oh. What a great way to start. Like, just, I love it. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, we got Fernando in the chat saying truth, which was the chat up pretty much the entire show, that toxic online chat throughout both shows.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely listen. Or if you listen to Triple H, I had it planned the whole time, worked out exactly like I thought it would. Everything's coming up, Hunter, baby.
See you in the car, Hunter Pool.
Yeah. We got the Canadian Goose in the chat saying good morning with a question mark, which is fair how this started.
Yes, 100%.
And caution in the bank. Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But first off, as you see to my right, I got the handsome Blair Pacheco with me.
Yes.
Blair, how you doing?
I am adequate, just a quaint little evening. Just finished eating some Little Caesars that from leftovers from last night. Busy weekend of wrestling, and that's continuing today because later today is the GCW Cage of Survival.
Yep.
And my boy, Ciclope, he's got his hands full with the Extremo Miedo, but we rep Ciclope up in here. And just like we do every Saturday on 4 Exposure with my co-host Pluggo, we love ourselves some Ciclope. So sorry, I went off there.
Yeah. See, I don't remember. I think it was both of them or one of them that made fun of me at the after party of IWS versus GCW, like the first one they did. Because in all fairness, it didn't help that the bar we were at served rum and cokes in the tiniest glasses possible. And they just they're like to me, and in like broken English, they're like, why are you drinking? Why are you not drinking a beer? What are you drinking? Mm-hmm. You've got this tiny little Coke cup. And they were invoking that it wasn't the toughest looking drink. And in all fairness, it wasn't.
Cyclope and Extremo just like making you feel about that big.
Yep. I didn't mind. I quite enjoyed my shitty little rum and coke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, we do have a big week, a big Saturday of wrestling, and as you mentioned, GCW continues today with TOS weekend. First off, the first show that I watched this weekend, which was so like better than I thought it would, because there were like, it wasn't perfect, but like throughout the thing, WWE did such a good job with it, because it felt more like a Triple show than it did a WWE show. Like, it obviously had the very much WWE varnish over it.
Yep.
But like the closest WWE does to outside of WrestleMania a like theme set, because they had the video screen set up like the Aztec temple, which was super cool. Which like a nice small touch, which right off the and there was a lot less advertising everywhere, which was also a nice touch. It was just like the logos for both companies in the middle of the ring and the logos outside, which like it's progressively going like they've heard people complain and being, oh, you're going to complain about it? We're going to add more advertising.
Put logos on top of logos.
We're going to put a logo on you in the crowd. You're a logo now. Congratulations. Welcome back to the Thunderdome era, where you're just going to be sentient logos.
It's only a matter of time before production just superimposes logos on everyone, so that when you're watching, it's just like logos all over your shirts. It'll be like a Snickers, Pepsi, Domino's all in a row. And you'll have no idea when you're sitting there watching, but the people at home be like, that's a shit ton of logos.
We'll have Green Shirt Guy presented by Venmo.
They're going to use him as a green screen so they can put whatever logo they want on him.
Yeah. That's how he gets all the front row tickets now. They're just going to use him as a billboard.
Fernando's also says that go Pacers. They're up 1-0.
Yeah.
Big game coming tonight. I might watch. Pardon me, I might watch.
Oh yeah, that man, like it's actually not bad, because for Montreal, we like not only are there 4 Canadians in the series, but 2 of them are from the same part of Montreal. Both Lou Dort and Benedict Mathurin, both from Montreal North. Nice. And like grew up playing together. So like it is really cool for Montreal. So like I don't necessarily have a horse in this race. I'm just enjoying it. Like it's fun in sports when you could just live stress-free, like, and just watch the game, because like they're both this and the NHL playoff, the NHL finals have been great. Like
I haven't watched any of the games, nor will I watch. To me, there is no finals. They're not even declaring a Stanley Cup champion this year. It's just gonna be vacant.
See, none of the people I hate are in the finals. Like, I'm so happy the Bruins didn't make the playoffs, and the Leafs are just going to be the Leafs till their dying day. I'm so sorry, Blair.
That's okay.
They're it's who they are. It's inevitability. Like, if you want to sign to the apocalypse, they make it to the finals. That's how you know this is it. It's the ball game.
That is when hell will have frozen over. I see the way I look at it, because you have so many people who will be like, you should cheer for the Canadian team left, and the way I look as a hockey fan, I'm like, no, I mean, I don't want anyone else to win but my team. There might be certain players that I would like to see succeed. Like, I want to see Ovi win a cup, back in 2019 or whatever he did. I was hyped for that. But like, to me, when the Leafs get eliminated, that's when, to me, the playoffs just stop altogether, and my interest just dwindles down to nothing.
See, I think through progress and therapy, I've gotten to the point where I am fine with the Oilers winning this year.
Okay.
like I am fine with it, even though I still to this day feel that the Montreal Canadiens should have been, since they're the last one to win, it's their drought to break. And then I'm fine with the Canadian team winning after that, but I felt like the Montreal Canadiens should be the one to win the first Canadian Stanley Cup in like 30 something years at this point.
Oh, since
93. Yeah.
Oh, that's depressing.
Yep.
And
real big bummer.
There were teams that were close since then, like that had exceptional regular seasons and for whatever reason just fell flat. Like I 100% thought that the Nordiques back in 95 had a chance because they crushed it. It was the lockout season.
Yeah.
And they finished first in their division, I think it was, their conference. Had to play the Rangers first round. They're doing great. And then there was like a missed penalty. I remember it because I used to be a Nordiques fan. Alexei Kovalev of the Rangers. To this day, I still have hatred for him.
I mean, of the Montreal Canadiens, of the time when every player on the Montreal Canadiens had a K last name. Koivu, Kovalev, Komisarek, both Kostitsyn brothers. Like, it was insane. Yeah, I think there was maybe one or two more than I'm missing. There was like every player had a name starting with the letter K.
Oh yeah, it was a time back then. It was like the 2000 10-ish era, like around there. I'm trying to remember when Komisarek played there. He played there, then went to the Leafs.
Yeah.
So, and that is your Canadian hockey history.
Yeah. But yes, we will be talking wrestling, of course. And speaking of which, Tyrese Halliburton going to be in WWE 2K, and a lot of teams. Fernando mentioned keeps pulling up miracles. A lot of teams going to be, a lot of fans of different teams going to be taking out their aggression on the video game version of Tyrese Halliburton, just pummeling with chairs for every time he makes those miracle 3s or 2s on the dying second that no human being should be able to make.
Just what a shot. Like, oh, that was great.
Yep. But yes, we had, in all fairness, especially the last few months, a bounce back weekend for the WWE. I felt throughout, like it was something they needed to, because like, especially after last week, both the locker room and the fans in general were waning, and the frustration was growing, which was like great for AEW. Because more fans were, which I'm happy, more fans can check out other products around wrestling. Because, like, as one half of our independent show here, more people should check out independent wrestling.
Yes,
outside of WWE. Like, we had one of the things from last night from TOS Weekend, Shotzi Blackheart with the secret entrant to not only returning to independent wrestling but doing a death match, and then promptly announcing on Twitter her retirement from deathmatch wrestling, unless it's to fight Nick Gage.
Yeah, like, because Shotzi appeared at the Hood Slam event on Friday night. That was a big surprise.
Yeah.
And then, last night as the mystery person in the Tournament of Survival. Surprisingly enough, when we did the preview for it, like, we kind of threw out some names who we thought it might be. And if you go back, you can go back up onto the Love Wrestling YouTube page and watch it. We kicked out some names we thought it might be, like Jimmy Lloyd, Matt Cardona, and we even said Shotzi Blackheart because, hey, why not? Like, that'd be a big time surprise. So, I mean, it's a good way for, a wrestler just coming out of being released to kind of reinvent themselves or just to get themselves back out there in a light that people may not be familiar with them of.
Yeah. And like, I was like, so we can talk about TOS a little bit later, but like, I was very excited to see that. But yeah, and as I was saying before, like, this was a fun show from the very beginning to the end. Like, the main event was great. Like, it annoys me so much that they keep rallying with that El Grande Americano game, because he's like, Chad Gable is so talented in the ring. Like, he is very much the second coming of Kurt Angle. Like, the way he handles these comedy bits, but also like can go for a full hour without breaking a sweat. And just like with anyone in the ring, like, he's so talented. He doesn't need any other stuff because he's just so good. And like, especially like a year or two ago when like he was in the mix to beat Gunther for the Intercontinental title and probably should have.
Mhm.
It's like I felt that they sort of fumbled the end of that there, but like it should have probably been him. Even though I like the story they told with Sammy in the end, but he should have had a title by now, and it's sort of like what happened later that night with LA Knight is WWE has these stars that they don't quite know what to do with and don't want to put up to that next level.
Yeah.
Like they definitely have a ceiling for certain people that they just refuse to put through. But like the first match, which like there were two people who were the most talked about that night. One of them reappeared in the main event, and one of them was at the beginning of this show, which was the introduction to the American audience. And honestly, the first time I've seen him in the it was a 6-man tag. It was the LWO versus is it Octagon Junior?
Yeah, Octagon Junior, Mr. Iguana, and was it Aerostar?
Aerostar, yeah.
Yeah.
And Aerostar, which that opening match was so great. Like it had the feel of a AAA match. And like it was so much fun. And they got to like there is a lot to complain about Conan on commentary. Like he was very like it was like Corey Graves, to his credit, and was doing his best job because he's A, not playing a character, B, had to carry the commentary because Conan, the positives on Conan was he was trying to give as much of the history as possible of each wrestlers, but he was very long-winded and like very like monotone at times.
And then slid into everyone's DMs and asked to listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Did you listen to my commentary?
That opening match, it was LWO and Lince Dorado.
Yeah, Lince Dorado,
who's a trainer with NXT now.
Yeah, well, like I saw it since being like initially released by WWE. Did independence. I saw him at IWS once. Great wrestler, like so talented, and like part of what like you need a great partner, and he played that so well against Mr. Iguana throughout. Like right off the rip, the internet from his initial introduction immediately fell in love with Mr. Iguana. Like from just walking out, like people who knew him were like, we've been saying this for a little bit. He is a lot of fun. He's the internet and me especially loves a delightful weirdo who can go in the ring. Like everything he does was so smooth throughout that match. Like from the like handoff and the use of the puppet throughout, like from switching, having it bite people and switching off into a head scissors and a hurricane rana to somebody else while the puppet's still biting somebody else, from like even the intro where he just flips it onto his shoulder casually. Like everything was so smooth and polished, and he's so great at this character, from like even like little things like licking the opponent's hand when he goes to shake his hand, just like licking it like a lizard, was so well done. Like I hope WWE brings him back for more stuff. Like he is built for NXT, man. Like that is a like big, like somebody who the especially NXT audience will love.
Yeah. There was even one spot with the iguana, and I think Lince did like a Spanish fly just to the iguana puppet.
Oh yeah.
And so little things like that. And actually I have a story about Lince, because he did, like you mentioned, he did do independence.
Yeah.
And he wrestled here in Winnipeg for a show. And before commentary, I'll talk to everyone and just say, hey, is there anything you need me to get over for you on commentary? Anything you want me to, mention? Because like, hey, it's more promotion for the wrestlers. And I had asked Lince because he was booked for the show. And he's like, I don't think so. And then he goes, actually, make as many cat references as you can during commentary. And I was like, what? So that's the kind of guy Lince is outside of it.
So I just meowed for 30 minutes.
It was just like that Super Troopers skit where it's like,
yeah.
what are you talking about, meow?
Meow, 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 meow.
But it was a good time. You know, and he's a solid dude. So it was nice to see him back having a match.
Did you ever listen? It's on, I checked, it's on Spotify now, but for like a charity thing, Run the Jewels released Meow the Jewels. Yeah, and it's just meowing over their music.
It's incredible.
Yeah. You can check it out on Spotify. They did release as a charity thing one time. It was a lot of fun. But yes, I think every match on this card was a lot of fun. But like clearly, and like even afterwards when he was in the crowd for Money in the Bank, like was getting now hounded by fans for pictures afterwards. Like he was quite over throughout like the pop for when they showed him on camera afterwards. And that match again, all 6 guys did such a great job. Like Conan on commentary did kind of bury WWE a couple times where like I think it was one of the LWO guys, or it might have been later on, where he just straight up like is like straight up said he hasn't wrestled like this in a long time. Which is like, yeah. No, Conan's not kind of lying there.
Conan's dropping facts.
Like the WWE guys do kind of get held back from some of the stuff they can do in the matches they do. So like it was nice that they let them go like absolutely full lucha there, and just like from start to finish. Like I really enjoyed that match. The women's match was fun. Like I think like again, it could use the second women's match on there.
Yeah,
not just one, because there's more AAA female talent there that could use a highlight. But they went with some of their legends there. Like again against like granted like someone from NXT who I felt was a little bit the like little bit of the weak point there, but she still did great. And of course like somebody doing triple duty and like they harped on it throughout the night that Stephanie Vaquer Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice, like great. I really do feel they have great chemistry as a team. I felt at times Lola Vice, like definitely the rookie there, like there was a little times where she was like a little slow on stuff and might have missed a couple stuff like early on, but like by the end of the match, she was doing great. I felt like Lola Vice and her do have great chemistry together as a tag team, and like I think WWE sees that too. But Stephanie Vaquer did great throughout. I think like the double, like giving the fans what they want, doing the devil's kiss there with both of them, huge pop throughout the crowd for obvious reasons. And like I'm excited that WWE has a lot of trust in Stephanie Vaquer. Clearly, like to have her on, like usually the consolation prize for wrestlers is like the SmackDown before the pay-per-view. They get like maybe a title match. If they have a title, they get to put their title on the line, but like they don't get put on the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
but to have her not only on the SmackDown, but have her on the sort of like NXT adjacent pay-per-view, and then have her on the actual pay-per-view is them showing a lot of trust in Stephanie Vaquer and the talent she has.
Yeah, I mean, on these shows that are strictly 5-match cards, with one like this where you're introducing a lot of fans to a whole bunch of new wrestlers, that's almost one where you want to have 1 or 2 more in there, because you do have the time for it. There's only an hour of wrestling, and it's but what, like a 2-hour show, so like you could get another match in there, and I think that's the time where you want to be introducing your fans, introducing to like, the potential viewers to these wrestlers. Like you want to get as much out there as you can. So I think that's one place where they kind of dropped the ball.
Yeah. But like I felt none of the matches dragged throughout. Like it was so much fun throughout. Like I was grinning ear to ear throughout the whole thing. Like for like an early afternoon pay-per-view or PLE. Like having it up on YouTube with Smarks, it's way more accessible for everyone, and like a great like. It sucks that they're doing it specifically to spite AEW on some weekends, but like it was the thing that was lacking since the pre-show don't have matches. It was like it is a fun thing to do for a day of wrestling, is like having an early card of a PLE than having that like evening card, like with like a little break in between, like it definitely, like, it got me hyped for the pay-per-view to come. Like, it gave me some positivity going into Money in the Bank, and like the main event was great too. Like,
yeah, I like the afternoon aspect of it, because it does leave, like, even if there isn't a show afterwards, like, it does leave the evening open, and you know that, like, hey, you can watch 4 hours of wrestling and still get a good night's sleep and not have to sacrifice.
Yeah, like, it did have, like, in the positive way, sort of like that Sunday Night Heat thing, especially with Dominic Mysterio adding that 5th match to the card against Octagon Jr. Like, it did as a sort of like excitement, spontaneity, and like get a through line throughout both shows. Like, they did keep them sort of like both attached to each other sort of thing, that it was good advertising for like the show late night, having that 5th match added during the show, like, keeps people who are watching that show interested and wanting to watch Money in the Bank later, and remind him to keep watching Money in the Bank. And like, it was a good setup to that, having both of them just brawl out after the match. Although, like, having Mr. Iguana not knowing what to do as these two guys are fighting, sort of just staring, like, licking himself, like, and like, I think one of them, I think Aerostar just left the ring and then came back, and like, oh no, I've got to play security here.
It's disappointing we're not going to get a Octagon Mr. Iguana versus Liv and Dom match.
Yeah, oh, that's what the people want. But yeah,
drop the ball on that.
Hopefully they continue to let, like, the luchadors do, again, like, WWE's track record is not the best there, but like, this had people positive. Hopefully they see, like, especially like throughout the night, there was a level of positivity that WWE hadn't seen for like a few months to a year, like, coming out of at least that first show.
There is, I gotta find the comment, but we should mention it just for how ludicrous it is. And that was, I gotta find it. Rey Mysterio's comments during like the little promo he did before.
Oh yeah, because he said it in Spanish too. He didn't even say it in English.
Yeah.
So
I'm
like,
trying to find it.
To paraphrase, it was WWE is giving legitimacy to Lucha, which, like, come on, that is the most BS company line I've heard in my
like the audacity, Ray.
Yeah. Thank you, white man, for giving us the well done. Like, come on, Ray, you know better. You're better than this. Like, you've made enough money. You didn't need the paycheck that bad.
No. Can't wait to go over some real homegrown, like, the taste of Italy. I'm going to Olive Garden.
Yeah, exactly. That's a tweet.
You're going to get some Saberos later on. Like, come on, Ray. Bro.
Oh, man. Want some good barbecue hamburgers? I'm going to McDonald's.
Oh.
Fresh off the grill.
The audacity.
Like, to be like one of the faces of like luchador wrestling and one of the legends, and to say that, it's just like, it was very much like the peak company man statement. Like, people get on other wrestlers, like they get on Ospreay for being too raw. And same thing with like Seth, but like, that's one of those that's just ridiculous, like borderline offensive to every luchador. Like, they need this company to legitimize them after all these years and having their stuff ripped off from the bigger companies forever, since the very beginning. Like, it's like, there's so many like luchador legends that people don't know about because WWE just stole their stuff and gave it to other people.
Like, that statement. Come on, Ray. Think if they like your dad. think of your dad, like his dad was a wrestler.
Yeah.
Think of all the wrestlers that like put in the time and work before him, the legends. Think of Al Dandy, god damn it.
It's like the fact that Logan Paul still gets introduced from Puerto Rico. Which, boy, howdy, is that problematic, because that dude is using that place as a tax haven and nothing else.
Oh, man. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have brought up the Ray thing, but it was just
no, that was a fair point. That was a fair point. That was like on the downside of this is like WWE thinking they're the saviors of luchador wrestling right now because they bought a company. And like CMLL still isn't there. Which like
they're still working on making CML to be the bad guys in all of this.
Yeah.
So, well.
But at the end of the day, on the positive end, it like going into Money in the Bank, this was throughout, like everyone on the card did a great job. Like every match showed off what like granted again a version with WWE's varnish on it, but a version of luchador wrestling, which is out there, and like it showed the stuff some of the wrestlers could do if they don't have the constraints that they usually have being on like regular WWE television, especially main card television.
Yeah, because
like as you see later on, it's the advertising and stuff that run the show there. It's the dollars and cents, because we had, boy howdy, if people complain,
fireball ladders.
There was two. Either they fixed one, or there were two fireball ladders. Yes, Fireball was I think the post show was also paid for by Fireball whiskey by your 20-year-old blackouts.
Can't wait for SummerSlam to be presented by Jägermeister.
Presented by my mistakes.
Do you remember the Mimosa Mayhem match?
Yeah.
Now we needed a Yag Bomb match where you have to power bomb your opponent into a pool of Jägermeister.
Oh man, I remember like Jägermeister. One of his shows his band got sponsored by Jägermeister. So like there's a bunch of free Jaeger stuff throughout the night. Oh God, it was like I got very drunk, but man, the taste of that stuff I can't do anymore.
Nope.
I have aged out of that. Like even thinking of Fireball, I'm like, imagine just having a glass of Fireball seems insane to me. Like not like God, that's some psychopath stuff. And I can't wait till the kids who watch it make that mistake. Daddy, what's Fireball? That's how you were born, son. That's how you were conceived. We had one too many at a frat party, and boy, you know it, Mom was pregnant, and I had to get a job.
Oh.
And that's why you're called Rey Mysterio Jr. Now enjoy these $500 seats I paid for.
It's bringing up trauma of past drinking experiences when I was younger. Doing prairie fires and just getting lit up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh man. But yes, then we go into Money in the Bank, and the opening the show was the women's Money in the Bank match, which again, these matches are like, at worst you can say kind of formulaic, but it's still a lot of fun. Like they're still trying to find ways to innovate, and each like having two on the same show, both of them are trying to find their own ways to get stuff over. And I really enjoyed this women's one, and I the correct winner. Like again, like people going, like there's no bad winner here. Like Julia, Stephanie Vicker would have been interesting choices. Like especially like it's too bad that again, like especially now in like this TKO Triple H, there's definitely ceilings on where they see people.
Yeah.
And like there is definitely like a tiered group, and it's like more so than ever where like only certain people can be in that title picture, and like there isn't the room for upsets that there once was, especially in like where like we got Kofi Mania and stuff like that stuff. There's less of a chance of it happening because they're like I think Naomi again is a very interesting choice to win. I'm very happy for her, especially considering she is the first Black woman to do it. And there's the very nice interview after in the post show, because before that, only Big E was the only Black person to win a Money in the Bank briefcase, and having him give Naomi her flowers on the post show, which like sort of brought her to tears. But again, she's such a professional. Once the crowd's chanting, "You deserve it," starts cussing out the crowd, saying, "It's too late. I know I deserve it. You're too late on this." Like immediately snaps out of it and turns heel again. But did have a nice moment. Like it was a special moment to have for Big E to give her flowers afterwards, and it was definitely well deserved. And like she's on a, like Biggie said, she's on the run of her career right now. This heel character, Proceed with Caution, is great. She's clearly having a lot of fun with them. Like I'm excited what's gonna happen like with Jade. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Jade wins the title and then cashes it on Jade. Like
Yeah.
The three of the potential there is very, very cool.
Like, I mean, because I didn't see much of the show, I just saw some clips. But like with a show like this, you got the 2 Money in the Bank matches. Like, as you know, like you're watching, would you prefer they just do like one Money in the Bank match, and then say when Survivor Series comes around and they do War Games, say if they did a men's Money in the Bank, then they just do a women's War Game match and not do 2 of those on the same show? Would you prefer that, or do you like both of them happening at the same show?
I think it works better both of them on the same show, just because it's cleaner that way. And like, I think it's cleaner that way, because then granted, there is like a little less spontaneous. You know when the Money Bank's going to be, and you know when the women's War Game, because like they have to set up for the War Games match or the Money in the Bank. But like I think it works out well that they're both on the same pay-per-view, and it does bookend like it, because they're both incredibly exciting matches no matter what happens. Like ladder matches are always like a organized car wreck, and like both of them were a lot of fun. There's cool spots in both of them. They like the second, especially the men, where they set up almost a Rube Goldberg machine, where like one ladder from the outside tips to the inside, and he tips onto another one and then starts climbing up the ladder to catch up. Like it was a fun little thing that they came up with, which is like, man, that's sort of like high risk, because anytime one of those ladders doesn't work, you're falling off there. But it was a cool little spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I felt it worked well. Like the second one, I was expecting to be the main event. It wasn't. They put the tag team match, which we can get into. We'll get into soon with God damn, I hate Logan Paul so much.
when he botched that buckshot lariat, I loved it.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm like, I thought, did I do that with my brain? This is how I find out I have telekinetic powers. I'm focusing my hate too much.
This is how we found out that Lawrence is an X-Men.
Yep. Like I use it on random things, like the least losing, and Logan Paul tripping and falling. Yeah, that's how I focus my hate.
Yep. Thanks, Lawrence.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm doing a service for all of Canada. But yeah, like we also had a great match, and like credit to Becky Lynch for like how much she's putting in this food, but how like you had Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, with Becky winning via roll up. Like so, like where I felt a great match. Like both of them come out looking better, and like week by week, the people who keep like trying to push this stupid narrative of like Becky Hogan, and they tried to, somebody online tried to do Mrs. and Mr. Becky and Seth Hogan. I'm like, you guys have completely lost the plot here. This person, I've been working their ass off to put somebody over, put her in an incredibly hot feud with the, if not the number one, easy one or two women's star in WWE in a hot feud that clearly is going to go for a third match. Like they're 1-1. Becky Lynch winning this one via roll up. So like not even winning clean, like pulling the tights and winning the match. And like again, from somebody who just came up from NXT not long ago, from the very beginning, Lyra Valkyria looked like an absolute star. Like is amazing in the ring, like so much fun. Like this is somebody who WWE has done a great job with from the call up.
Yeah.
And like and Becky Lynch has done a fabulous job. Like making her look great, making her look like a star, and now having her chase the title is something like fans want to see and want to see her get over. So like, and it's like somebody brought up online, like it would make sense that the third match would be in Hell in a Cell because they're getting that sort of animosity between the two. And I felt it was like a smart heel move to have a stipulation being that Lyra Valkyria has to raise Becky's hand if she lost. And like that I'm like, man, that is really smart. That was a smart touch.
Yeah.
Like to like dickish heel thing that like more people don't do, just like a small, like you have to bow to me now. Yeah. Like you can't just leave the ring. I bested you, raise my hand. And like do it to all four sides. And like it was a nice touch. And I'm looking forward to the future for like both of them for what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I think you almost have to separate the two for a bit just to build to that kind of blow off match.
Yeah.
Like, because if you wanted to do Hell in a Cell, that's not till like October, I think.
Yeah.
So you need to have them kind of go their own ways, kind of rebuild Lyra back up a little bit, where you can have her so she's not losing focus of what she needs to, but just to separate them, have Becky take on some other challengers, Lyra do her own thing, maybe spin off into a different feud for a little bit, but then ultimately just resetting and coming back for the IC title.
Yeah, like I think the third match should be at SummerSlam. Like I think they have set this up as a big match on its own. It is a massive feud, and they've done great for this new title.
Yep.
What is a brand new title? They've both worked really hard to make it an important championship. And again, you've got the biggest star in the company fighting for this title, like a instant legitimacy, and the fact like she was desperate to win it. And you have like a young star who like did a great job with her run with the title, like all in all great job, and it was a really fun match throughout. Like they definitely like. This card was one of the better cards WWE's put on in my like all day. It was very good throughout. Like again, you've got it's hard to fully screw up a Money in the Bank pay-per-view because like you have two matches which by very definition are going to be at least fun.
Yeah.
And then you should have three more. With the Triple H's booking, you have three more in the middle that you have to fill. And you've got so much talent there. It's insane that you can mess it up because they like I think it was fun on its own. It was although a quick match, but you had Rey Mysterio versus Octagon Jr., which was set up earlier in the night, early in the afternoon, which was a fun match. Dominic Mysterio. Like Dominic Mysterio looked great. His frog splash looks great. Like I feel like obviously the genetics of Eddie Guerrero flow well through him. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, because Maria mentioned disappointed we got no Bailey. I think everyone is, because like I will take as much Bailey as possible because I find her to be such a key part of the women's division there.
Yeah.
And her interview on Chris Van Vliet was fantastic a few weeks back. And I want more Bailey on my screens. Like I need more of her as like a key component in some of those feuds.
Yeah. Like and I think they've been heavily teasing her and Becky Lynch. Like Becky was wearing a cap like a very specific cap that Bailey was pictured you wearing. They've been like it's been clearly like ever since Becky Lynch was the one that injured Bailey, that like they are definitely, if not at Evolution, maybe also at SummerSlam, but they are going to be like coming head to head soon. I wouldn't be surprised if Bailey comes back at Raw tomorrow, but like yes, that was a thing that came out, Fernando, that Triple H doesn't like the Money in the Bank concept. So I'm starting to wonder if Zach is secretly Triple H, somebody who has ranted and raved about how much he does not like the Money in the Bank concept. I like it solely because it's like at least in its core concept, although not so much this year, it's supposed to help make a star or somebody that's on the rise. Like, we get to again, this is the third year where decent amount of people thought LA Knight was going to win it. And they teased it as he was the one right before Seth grabbed it, which like I felt at a certain point was inevitable that Seth is going to win this because they've been saying like the thing is with Seth winning it, he doesn't need it. He could have just been like, I want a title shot. And like, granted, he's a heel and the Money in the Bank briefcase works better with heels. Like both winners last night were heels. It's a concept more suited to heels.
You know, I think with Seth winning, because he had the briefcase back in like 2014, I think it was. So, and that was some of his best stuff, I thought. Like, so for him to bring that back, and now it's a different dynamic with having Heyman with him instead of, Heyman with Lesnar. I'm into this. I'm curious to see, how they're gonna do something different with him.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking this new group who, again, made an appearance during this match. Like both, like, man, they're just like such a dominating force. Which even Seth, who was on the football morning show with Kay, her name, but yeah, like he was on the show on Thursday, I think Thursday or Friday, and they was talking about like how, like he mentioned, like every group ends, and like for now this works for us. Like we all have we're all together on this, but like he knows, even like he's sort of being kayfabe, like that every group has a like time limit to it. Everything there is finite. And like, either like probably Braun Breaker is going to want the world heavyweight title, just like at some point if like Seth wins it, he's gonna like he's put a group with two guys who are very much should have title aspirations. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they win the tag titles at some point, well, with Seth as the heavyweight champion.
Who else did they add to the division? This shows how much I've checked out of WWE.
Of which division?
Or sorry, to the group, because it's Seth, Braun, and who's the other person? Have they added a third member yet?
Why am I blanking on his name? I'm so bad at names. It's what's his face? Toonami.
Oh, Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. I was gonna say is New Japan when he's in New Japan's name. Bronson Reed. Yes.
Good old Jonah Rock.
I was about to say Jonah Rock. Bronson Reed, who again fits in so perfectly there, and I'm happy like he is still gonna be like in the main event picture because like he is an absolute monster, and that looked great yesterday. Like when he came out, and you also had the really cool face off between the last remnants of the second bloodline, which is now officially blown up, as Jacob Fatu has finally turned full babyface and turned on Solo, which like is going to be like again fun story for both of them. Like Jacob Fatu, so over. Like, man, the crowd popped for him so big throughout that match. And like him hitting the Samoan drop on Bronson Reed with like place exploded. He looked great. I think it was pretty much the right time for him to turn on Solo and grabbing his foot and saying, "I hate you, Solo," and dropping him. Like, again, like enjoying Solo doing more of his comedic stuff off, as like at one point trying to befriend 3 guys by doing their taunts to them.
I like that.
Yeah. Like he is from like the quiet like muscle to like being able to flex his comedic abilities is great. Like I feel like Solo is also going to carve his own path, because like he is stuck in the middle between like 3 different like heavies sort of doing the same thing. So like him coming out as a more comedic character to a certain extent is a fine, like, good for him, because it sets him apart from the other ones.
Yep.
And like I'm very excited for this feud with Jacob Fatu. But yeah, we did get that one last time, that cool face off between what was the former Bloodline and Heyman's hose. And yeah, and like they told that story. Yeah, Jeff Cobb, like Fatu with Jeff Cobb, we're gonna get soon. Like, obviously, I think they might put that either on one of the upcoming cards, because I think him and Solo is probably going to be a SummerSlam match.
Yeah,
I think they've been building that for too long, that I think Solo and him are definitely going to be a SummerSlam match. Maybe for the United States Championship. I wouldn't be surprised if Solo costs Jacob Fatu the title and just be a singles match. So he doesn't necessarily need the title.
No, I could see that.
Yeah, but like I honestly think like that has any pairing there has the chance to be very, very good, because all 3 of them have the talent there. And finally, we get to the main event of Money in the Bank, which was the tag match. John Cena and Dipshit McGee versus Cody Rhodes and Jay Uso. Again, like my problem with Logan Paul in the ring, and why I don't think like people overrate him as a wrestler, I feel, even though like his counter be like, Triple H loves me, Triple H says I'm a great wrestler, he's almost cosplaying as a wrestler in the sense that he like nothing, like none of his moves feel like his. He just seems like he feels like a downloadable celebrity character where they gave somebody else their move set on 2K, like gave him somebody else's move set and just said go.
He's like a creative wrestler where you just pick the moves he wants.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like he's like some 8-year-old kid decided to create a wrestler, and I want him to do buckshot lariats and moonsaults and all this. And there's no rhyme or reason to his in-ring ability. It's just lots of cool shit.
Yeah. And like as the internet got on him, was right, he didn't even botch the buckshot lariat the best. CM Punk did it better.
This is also a testament to how out of the loop I am, because I was reading the results afterwards on the Observer, and I'd skimmed down to the main event, and I saw like, Cody, spoiler alert, just warning, but Cody pinned Cena or whatever. And I'm like, oh shit, Cody's the new champ. How's this going to work out? Then I realized, it was a tag match. Never mind. So no idea. Just out to lunch.
Like, and here we got the return of R-Truth after a very strange week of WWE getting called out for their BS, like absolutely tone deaf roster cut. Like, especially like in the press conference where on one note, Triple H, it was a great, like, honestly, at the end of the day, great surprise. Especially that they reintroduced him as Ron Killings and not R-Truth. I don't know what's going to happen on Monday. I'm intrigued to what's going to happen what they're going to do with his character. They saying they're bringing him back for one final run, which like I'm happy he's getting paid, and they didn't do the even like the shitty thing where like, man, wrestlers need unions, where they just have TNA sign him for less money and then use him anyways, which like was the other possibility going forward.
Yeah.
Which like I'm very happy to see Truth back. It was a great surprise. I think it was like, it clearly was not a work. Every report, like outside of Triple H trying to cover that it was, when both R-Truth and R-Truth's son being like, no, Triple H is lying in there. My dad did not have a contract. They repeatedly tried to offer him a contract throughout the week. He did not answer the calls, which fair, till the biggest person in the company called him personally and they worked out a contract. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the whole thing is like, it's very I don't know if disappointing is the right word, but just the way they, when you see the way they treated him,
Yeah.
because there was such an outpour of support for him, like the amount of wrestlers who tweeted out just how he had affected their lives, then the crowd support, and for them to kind of like, you know, go back and, you know, bring him back in this aspect. And it's like, well, what are you guys doing? Like, it's because now you have fans thinking that they're going to be able to change the narrative and change the story. Just like if there's enough groundswell support, well, like that ain't going to happen. Like, this is just, it's a one-off, but I don't like the feeling of all of it.
Like, I just see that part I don't hate so much, because like it's historically happened before. Like it was the ground cell that got Cope the Mania thing. Like they didn't have a set main event, and it just like right time, right place. Like I'm happy he's not only being brought back, but brought back in a main event position with John Cena. Like, yeah. And like I hope this time they afford him the respect of, again, somebody who remained loyal to that company. And for just outside of wrestling too, at the end of the day, no matter how nice your bosses are, they're not going to be loyal to you. So like your loyalty only, like you should only be loyal so far to them. But like, again, it was as a like straight up wrestling fan thing, huge exciting pop. It was a really cool thing. I think, again, WWE, Triple H, like there's a reason they're cutting the time to those press conferences with him heavily, because he is real bad at them the second he's asked an actual sort of question. Like that should have been a softball question. Like we're like, yes, we listen to the people. They like, you were right. We made a mistake. We were like, R-Truth deserved better, and we're excited to have him back. But again, Triple H just showing up, be like, I did it again, folks. Swish.
It's like
I'm the Tyrese Halliburton of booking, baby. Nothing to the last few seconds. And
it's like that video clip of the guy who like does the shot and then turns around celebrating as like an air ball.
Yeah.
That's
They're like, no, we also like, we know what happened here. And like, I honestly was surprised that Truth, like twice, he also commented on somebody else's thing on Twitter, reiterating that it was not a work, that he, up until like Friday, did not have a contract, and they finally reworked a contract with him. And like it was like, if you're wondering how beloved he was, Kathy Kelly getting emotional, just so happy that her friends back, and like somebody who is very much in the locker room, they like her, like her getting emotional announcing that his return, like after in the post show, is like that dude has touched everyone that way.
Yeah. And
like it was such a fumble on WWE's part, and like not reading the room and not understand. Like that's why, like, when you WWE being too corporate and too like taking the human side out of it is a mistake, because like they just saw dollars and cents. Like, he is this old and making this much money, we should cut him. and not seeing what he means to everyone and what he means to the fans was just a unforced error on their part. And like they should credit the fact that both backstage, even when you're one of your more famous head writers, like when Road Dogg tweeted and deleted his disapproval of it, like how bad like the heat was getting backstage on the front on the Office. Like I'm excited for what's going to happen with him next. I hope he does get a prolonged run, or at least like another one match or two with John Cena going forward. Yeah, it's TKO's show. Like I went off on this last week too, and like the ramifications of that. But like it's nice sometimes they still do listen to the fans, especially when it's overwhelming support.
Yeah, I mean now we just need the Road Dogg K Quick reunion, and we're just fully set.
Yeah, K Quick getting rowdy.
Yeah,
I still have that album, WWE Music 5, where The Rock does a whole song about eating vagina.
Okay. Well, I know we're almost out of time, but the back when that was like popular, I remember going to Music World.
Well, yeah, I actually went to Music World too. Oh no, it was either HMV or Music World. I think the Music World in Cavendish Mall.
I was in Music World, and I remember a guy went up to one of the associates and was like, "Yeah, do you have a rap album by K Quick?" I'm like,
salute that king.
You've got to be fucking shitting me right now. I love it.
Okay. But yeah, the match itself was fine. Like it looked like it was going to be for like the third or fourth time in a row, the exact formulaic John Cena heel ending of either dick shot or title shot to the head, pin 1, 2, 3. But then we got the twist of R-Truth showing up and Cody Rhodes hitting the crossroads for the 1, 2, 3 and pinning the WWE champion, which again sets them up for a possible rematch at SummerSlam or down the road. And now he has granted a non-title win, but a win. And like it is a cool idea with the drone and Logan Paul, like that shot with him getting suplex off the top, and you actually get to like see the impact of a top rope suplex, and then him then taking the Uso splash, like was a cool idea. Like that part was cool from like I think, but like throughout the match, pretty much a formulaic tag match, which could have been on Raw till that surprise. But then that like it did top all like that surprise. Having our R-Truth come back definitely was worthy of making that the main event match.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And especially possibly getting a more serious side of R-Truth potentially for this time for hopefully they actually put the title on the line against Cena coming up. Well deserved.
Now Karrion Kross just sit there wondering what he's got to do.
Oh man, it's the amount of talent that company has that they keep on a leash is insane. Like at least AEW lets like Ospreay and Omega go for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Let's like Speedball do what he does best. It's just like some of these guys are just like hell on a leash. They're like, you do this sort of same thing every week. Like, man, there's so much talent there. And then if you just gave them more TV time and stuff, like you'd be able to print money. But like, again, WWE does with the safe option and the proven option, which we're going to go with our stars that we've already made. They're going to stay there. Like and Karrion Kross, again, there's a ceiling there that they just won't let him break through, no matter how much the fans start getting momentum for him.
It's too bad.
Yeah. But with that, Blair, where can the people find you this week? You've got the Gray Maker Pod. You've got For Exposure.
Yeah, just dropped a new podcast with White Shirt William Taylor.
Ooh.
A bruising brute from out west. Big things coming from William Taylor. He's a solid dude, so check that out. For Exposure's coming up this weekend on Saturday, as long as I don't have to work overtime, or else it might be Friday. So just stay tuned. We'll let you know. We're going to be previewing the Black Hole Pro show coming up. Lots of your favorites going to be appearing on that show. So definitely look forward to that.
Yep. As for me, you can follow me at CartSandyG on all the socials, and you can catch me back here next week with another episode of the Brunch Gimmick. I want to thank everyone in the chat, Maria for hanging out, and to answer your last question, I do think it's probably going to be Cody to beat him, either if not at SummerSlam, probably like right before. I don't think he's going to fully walk out. He's either going to turn babyface right before or something. Like I feel that Cody might be the guy to beat him. But again, Maria, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hope you have a great weekend. Fernando, as always, being one of the first ones, always hop in the chat and hang out with us. Matthew, and of course the Canadian Goose, hanging out with us this week.
Honk.
Honk, honk. Again, catch us right here on the Love Wrestling YouTube page, 1 p.m. every Sunday, and we will see you same place right here next week. Bye.